I think one of our abilities as editors that's most valuable is just our taste.
Mrs. Wang.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us?
Do we have good taste? Do we know when something's working and when it's not working?
I am paying attention.
Dan Kwan and Daniel Schreiner, they pitched it to me as, we want to make a film, and then we want to break that film, and then we want it to rebuild itself.
Now, you may only see a pile of boring forms and numbers, but I see a story.
The movie spans a lot of different genres and is oftentimes like switching genres within a couple seconds, which is part of the fun of it. Popping from one universe to another. People will recognize with a sound cue or a swap in editing style or an aspect ratio change. So we'll jump from action to horror, and the story kind of centers around a mother-daughter relationship. Evelyn, played by Michelle Yeoh, and Joy, played by Stephanie Hsu. We learned pretty early on that Michelle's superpower as an actress, I believe, is her incredible ability to listen.
Good, good. They don't know you and I are in this universe yet, so hopefully I'll have some time to explain.
When someone is delivering a line around her, I'm on Michelle, just listening and reacting and internalizing. You can see the words seeping into her through her face. It's incredible. Jamie Lee Curtis in this film, she's a spectacle. The choices that she made in her performance are so fun.
Do you see these? You don't get one of these unless you've seen a lot of bullshit. Excuse my French.
I sound design the heck out of my scenes. Throughout the film, these characters are getting taken over by their alternate versions of themselves. What does that sound like? We ended up using like a little kind of bell ring in reverse. We ended up settling on this kind of staticky, almost metallic sound of voices coming through.
What's happening?
That would lead you and then snap you into a new universe. I use Premiere all over this film. I love to split the screen and combine performances, or just even change the timings between actors. I got really hooked on time remapping keyframes because we were doing so many fight scenes and a lot of crazy multiverse transitions. So having something go from 100% speed to 136, back down to 115 for a split second without it feeling jumpy. I can't imagine the workflow of having to do that in any other NLE.
Wow, that was really good.
We've had 12 editors working on a project. On our remote workflow, productions, basically it just allows, each folder is its own project, but that project is shared and can be opened by anybody at any time, anywhere, as long as they're keyed into that production. You don't store your media in your main project, which means your project is really not bloated. Premiere has always, like, just to me been wonderful because it disappears when I'm using it. We would mock together so much in Premiere without having to go to After Effects. With the Daniels, it's very accessible, the visual effects that they do. Think that a young filmmaker could see and say, I could do that. We use Frame.io to post our cuts. We use it to do our screenings. It allowed them to sit, draw, and then leave me a well thought out note. And it was nice for me because I could import them directly into my timeline. It's really powerful in that way. I sometimes find it necessary to remind ourselves that we're making a movie and it's fun. We're like kids who were never told to stop playing.